Hey, happy Friday. Hello. Auntie Fee about them facts. Sisters Fee about them facts. What we doing? How you doing? Happy Friday. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. What's going on today, baby? What's going on today? Ooh, you go to sleep at night, you wake up and all. Hey, Phyllis. Mwah. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. Happy Friday to you. mm, mm. Y'all, you know what? I've been thinking, we just do not have enough eyes. They talking about feet on the ground. Hell, we need more than two and sometimes four. And depending on who you are, three eyes. Baby, because you looking this way, they got some shit going on over here, over there, behind you, all over the place to try to keep you preoccupied. They know folk lazy anyway. Y'all come on in, come on in. I gotta spend a little time over here before I go over there. But who I seen? I seen that Colonel, man. He ain't no Colonel. Flynn. tap, tap into with all his medals and shit, you know. Tap in. He tapped in. He said, Donald, yo, it's time. Here I go. Auntie Fico. It's time for what? He said it's time to make a change. No, he didn't. He said it's time. You have to. He had a whole, I need to go to it. He had a whole long letter to ODT. He had a long letter to Donald Trump, baby. Broke that ass down. Broke that ass down. He said it's time. And he said, I don't give a fuck. I mean, he didn't say that, but you know. He said, I don't care who on that list. I don't care who on it. You have a responsibility. It's your job. I don't know who you think you are. Yeah, I'm ad-libbing. Yeah, it's my life, right? I can add what I want to it. He add what he want to it. At least I'm telling y'all I'm adding to the letter. Excuse me. Excuse me. At least I'm letting you know I'm adding my little finishing touches on it. He said I don't give a who on there. You have a responsibility. Now, I know you think you king and you run this, but you don't. You don't. Flynn. Well, Flynn, this long-ass letter. It wasn't a love letter, baby. I can tell you that. It was not a letter. I want to pull it up, but I got something right here. And, you know, I used to be 2020, but I guess 2020 said, child, I've been carrying, your eyes been carrying you for a while. I'm sure I ain't 2020 no more. But anyway, he broke them down. Pretty much like, I don't know who you think you are. And again, he said he didn't give up. Who on there revealed the list. Now, in this, people, I came on here to say, please. Now, I know he orange, but please don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You hear? Please don't fall for the banana. Because him and that Pam chick, they preparing a whole banana pudding. They trying to make it real sweet. They trying to trick you. Let me say, it ain't your grandmama's banana pudding. Hell, it ain't even real bananas. I'm just not gonna act right, am I? Well, hell, you know ain't nothing real about the man. Come on now. In my opinion. So please don't come over here swarming me with all of this. He my grandpappy. I love him and ain't shit he can do wrong. I mean, okay, that's your opinion. That ain't mine. Not at all. Ain't nothing real about this banana pudding that they trying to prepare for us like they finna give us something, release this Epstein stuff. Now, first of all, the intelligent fee about them facts. You know, sometimes, you know, I be tired and I be slow to it, but I get it on the back end. You know what I mean? Did nobody ask for no court transcript? Did nobody ask for the did nobody ask for the grand jury? Nothing, did they? Did we? Did somebody ask for that and I missed it? We asked for the list of clients. Right? That's what we asked for. Right? So now you finna try to act like you just giving in. I have demanded that the DOJ give, you know. No, that ain't what we asked for. We want the list of the clients. We want to see. Now, some people may want the details. That may come later. Right? But right now, we just asked for the list of the people who participated with Harmony's kids. Because y'all have allegedly have a whole child trafficking, XXX trafficking, possibly laundering of money, whole treason. A whole, you just done, they talking about he's CIA and he's a spy and, you know, y'all got all this shit going on. Now, would I be surprised? No. Please hit the like button. If you in the bushes, you can still hit the like button. Can you hit the like button? Okay, please don't come in here not hitting the like button. Trying to hear what I got to say. I know I'm important to you. I know I give you some direction on where to go to when you leave here. Yeah, leave. If you can't hit the like button, leave. Do me that favor. What they say, I can't think of what they say. Yeah, y'all. Good. At least 30 of them left that couldn't hit the like button. Please don't fall for that banana pudding that they making. They not just making it. They want to make it sweet. So that's why it's not the banana in the tailpipe today, this Friday, the 18th. It's the banana pudding. They want to make it sweet. He getting too much pressure, baby. And let me tell you something. That old Jack Atlanta, he about to bust. Woo-hoo, he about to bust. He cannot handle being looked at like he a failure. And he can't handle being betrayed, although he is king of betrayal. He is king of betrayal. And that old Van Scott, we watched him yesterday. He up here talking about, I hate Donald Trump, this, that, and other. He said that for umpteen years. We watched his ass grow up right on into a Trump. So you done been bought. They dangle money over your head, position and power, and he flipped you just like that. All of these people that had morals and was for the people, y'all see how he do you? He flipped you just like that. Control your mind, manipulate your mind, make you turn on people that you love. Made you lose all type of morals and respect for yourself. And y'all think y'all leaders. Where did your morals go? Because one thing is for sure, he has not changed. DT, you know, the orange guy who hair sometimes is gray, sometimes it's platinum, sometimes it's wheat, sometimes, I mean, I don't know who his stylist is, or color expert is, baby, because they will change their color up, but they messed up on that hand. I don't know who the skin tech is, but baby, they would change their hair color. 1 minute it look like it's oatmeal, 1 minute it look like it's corn color, 1 minute I'm like, woo, baby, you making me look bad. I need to get on to the color. Because his color changes. Yeah, but him, he ain't changed. Only thing that has changed on him is his hair color. And hell, it look like his skin color. He can't get that. He can't get that orange right. What made him want to be orange? Oh, he trying to cover some sores and shit on his face. They say yeah, baby, but that hand. Ooh, that look. But anyway, come on back, come on back, Fee. Come on. Ooh, that was horrible. But anyway, he ain't changed. He has been consistently full of shit. So what made the people change? Yeah. Because they said, oh, girl used to be about human trafficking. An advocate. Imagine the people who used to believe in her. See how she has transformed and overlooking and making excuses now for traffickers. So your morals, respect, your cause, your goal, everything, your vision, your purpose, everything left to be on his cabinet. And where yesterday is that hell he halfway had you going up under the bus. I couldn't watch it no more. Hell no, I couldn't watch it no more. Because he was finna throw that ass up under the bus. Now, old Dan, FBI director, halfway in, halfway out. I guess he waiting for unemployment. He waiting for y'all to fire him. So he can collect unemployment. Woo! I'm playing. I'm just playing. Baby, he using up all his sick time, all his vacation. He getting his affairs in order. He's making copies of shit. Oh, you think I'm playing? Child, please. Child, please. Hell, that's the government. I know how shit work in corporate. And I know it worked 10 times. It's triple double that. Yeah, working for the government. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. High positions, been lying for folk. Been lying. Now you feel foolish. You feel betrayed. And that blows my mind. I'm gonna tell you that now. Shame on them the first time. Shame. You knew who you was working for when you accepted the position. I don't know what made anybody think that y'all was gonna be special. But anyway, him I can dig because he done got ghost on that ass. He's taking care of his business. He is making copies. He's consulting with her. He moving money. Yeah. Because he know eventually he going to have to tell the truth. So help him, God. We the people. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you, God. Because him, the orange guy, hell, he ain't even this color orange. No, that baby. When I tell you he orange, and don't misunderstand me, I love a good orange. I'm a Longhorn boo. I love a good orange. Burnt orange? Oh yeah, shit. But that orange, no, way. That orange man ain't gonna have your back. He gonna say he ain't know nothing about what you was doing and he never told you nothing. So hopefully you recorded him. Yeah. Hopefully you got it when he has his real signature on something. I mean, because I know you better not pull out nothing with no auto pen on it. But if you got something, pull it on out. Pop it out. Like, y'all can tell I'm a spade player because I can. Yeah. I'm just waiting. Some of it I believe is going to happen and some of it ain't. I don't think it's going to happen. We do not. Let me say this. Please, somebody go run spread it. We didn't ask for the grand jury testimony. We did not ask for that. Where did that come from? Like you doing us a favor. Yeah, since this is what you want, you have permission to give up that ain't what we asked for. That's a deflection. That's the stall for y'all to pass some more cuts and shit while people focusing on this and you not even giving us that. Keep that and bring us the list. But let me tell you who a smooth criminal behind the scenes. We done woke her ass up. She outside running, jogging, getting her breathing back together. She jogging and breathing. She breathing. Yeah, she getting reconditioned to get her best screw on. Auntie, what you say? Oh, y'all play too much. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Y'all think it's that? What? Yeah. Let me give you this face. I want this face. I'm gonna give y'all that one. I'm gonna give y'all that first. Yeah, that's what she doing, y'all. She outside running and jogging and exercising, doing squats. Yeah, cause she finna give her best screw on DT. So yesterday I was kind of wondering who was dropping some of the stuff. It just mysteriously appeared, right? And they were saying, somebody has said that the government released something. This stuff was, then I was thinking maybe it is combing them. And some of it may be, depending on what it is. But baby, some of these old pictures, like the picture I showed last night of them on the airplane together. Auntie Phil, you sticking together. Donald and Epstein sitting right by each other on a private plane. I said, I ain't never seen that picture. Where that picture come from? The one of the little girl. Baby, let me tell you something. Whoever, they did not like that upload. They said, make her take that down. Make her take that down. So I'm finna fight for that one. Because, baby, that was a good one. You hear me? What? Yeah. I said, where these pictures come from? This little girl, who is she supposed? Was y'all there? Did y'all? I got it so y'all really can't talk. But did y'all see that? Because I said, who is she supposed to be? Is this supposed to be Pam Dottie when she was young? Bondi when she was young? Is this supposed to be Katie Johnson? Who is this young little girl right here? A long time ago. Where did this picture come from? You understand? Stuff just started dropping. Like that lawsuit. The U.S. Yeah. Against Trump and Epstein together. They was being tried together. Just me and you, ooh, Donald, Epstein. Yeah, like y'all, partners in crime. Serial apists. Serial traffickers. Not serial. Serial. S-E-R-I-A-L. Like a serial illa. Yeah. They got a lot of bodies together. They partners in crime. They had a whole threesome. Him, DT, Epstein, and Maxwell. And they was real close to grooming Diddy to be a foursome. Quad. Somebody else was coming. Yeah. That's why they pop Comey. It's funny how these people want to make Maureen just be about Diddy. I know y'all know good and damn well Trump didn't fire her because of Diddy. Bullshit. Bullshit. If that's the case, he could have fired her during trial. Okay? Okay? Let's just be real. That's the intelligent fee. If he was trying to protect or help Diddy, he could have fired her right in the midst of the trial and fucked everything up. But he didn't. So please, please don't humor yourself. Don't flatter yourself. Don't nothing to make you believe that Maureen Comey was fired abruptly because of Diddy. Now, he factored into this banana pudding that they cooking up. But he was not the reason. Wasn't nothing about Diddy's case a threat to him. Like that list. Like these birthday cards that he don't want out, baby. He still want to, you know, act like it's a lie. But why are you suing Washington? Is it the Wall Street Journal? I thought that was the one you liked. Everybody else was bull. You liked them, didn't you? Didn't you? Ain't that what you said? Everybody else piece shit. Everybody else fake news. Now they fake news. So how did they get it? That's the question, sir. Why you playing? Why you know, putting on your orange powder? I want somebody to teach him how to blend. They on me bad, baby. Ooh, they don't like what I'm saying. Anyway. I want them to teach him how to blend that orange. Okay. So, anyway, I forgot what I was saying. That just kind of took me aback. So, oh, girl. Ghislaine, I'm sorry. Y'all hit the like button. Please. She's talking. She dangling carrots. She dangling carrots. Now, let me tell you how I feel about this. It's almost like she's saying, let's see who got the bigger balls. She says chess, not checkers. She said, yo, move. Are you got to get me out of here? Since you got the power, you always said that you was gonna have you in the people's face, allegedly. So that means that you have the power to make shit move, right? Well, get me out of here, and I'll hold your secrets. So let me let you know how much info I have. Okay? Since you say case closed and there is nothing, let me drop some shit that ain't nobody seen before. Not before. Buffalo. Buffalo. B. Foul. Yeah. Let me drop some stuff you ain't seen. Buffalo. So these little trinkets, these little gems and jewels, these little bread crumbs, these little nuggets, folk are picking up like, oh, okay, where this come from? That's what I was saying. Well, where did it come from all of a sudden? Where has this been? I ain't never seen that before. Who is this little girl? Where these court documents come from? Where this Alex Acosta stuff come from? Where it come from? Is it real? Then you start looking it up and doing some research, and I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. Just like that El Salvador stuff. Okay. Okay, so some of these people are really disgusted and tired of him. Tired of his threats. So Miss Maxwell is saying, okay. You sure is this what we doing? See, this is fee. This me when somebody's trying to play in my face. I always say, okay, is this what we doing? Are you sure? This the game we finna play? All I need to know if this is a game, so I know how to play. See, in my mind, that's what Ghislaine is doing with Trump when she's dropping these nuggets. That's who I think right now. Now, I'm not saying that the government, oh girl, didn't release some things. I believe she is too as well. But it was the Department of Justice who ran to the Supreme Court who says, do not accept that appeal. And so in her mind, he stopped her. Right? Okay. Let's listen.
New York Courthouse. Also, behind me, the closed down MCC where Jeffrey Epstein was carted out to a hospital not far from here. Now, today is Friday, July 18th, 2025. And among the other cases, there was an announcement yesterday from Washington that the administration would be seeking to unseal the grand jury transcripts of Jeffrey Epstein. Well, we're on the lookout. We've been on the lookout. As we tweeted last night, the case was before Judge Berman. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the case against him didn't proceed.
If they can release that, they can release the list.
There was an announcement yesterday from Washington that the administration would be seeking to unseal the grand jury transcripts of Jeffrey Epstein. Well, we're on the lookout. We've been on the lookout. As we tweeted last night, the case was before Judge Berman. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the case against him didn't proceed because of the events I just described behind me. But against Ghislaine Maxwell, it did, and we covered that trial in great detail. Put out a book called Maxwell that had it all, including it.
Shout out to Innocent Press.
The case was before Judge Berman. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the case against him didn't proceed because of the events I just described behind me. But against Ghislaine Maxwell, it did, and we covered that trial in great detail. Put out a book called Maxwell that has it all, including its connections to the United Nations, which I'll get to, an organizational name at the end of this. But so far, nothing. We followed both cases closely enough that if a filing to unseal, unless the request itself was made, we would be alerted very quickly. So there's also some civil litigation involving Ghislaine Maxwell before Judge Prescott. That's a lot more documents. There's been a lot of sealing in that case. So maybe, but that's not grand jury. Grand jury is a criminal matter. So watch this space. That's all I can say. Now, on the Roman storm, the reason that we're...
So it's some civil.
The United Nations, which I'll get to, an organizational name at the end of this. But so far, nothing. We follow both cases closely enough that if a filing to unseal, unless the request itself was made, we would be alerted.
Oh, the request may have been
July
sealed.
18th, 2025. And among the other cases, there was an announcement yesterday from Washington that the administration would be seeking to unseal the grand jury transcripts of Jeffrey Epstein. Well,
Where's
we're
the
on
list?
the lookout. We've been on the lookout. As we tweeted last night, the case was before Judge Berman. Of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the case against him didn't proceed because of the events I just described.
I know it did.
But against Ghislaine Maxwell, it did, and we covered that trial in great detail.
Let me say this. Please, since he has requested, said you can, let it go. Please let the list be in there. If he didn't let go of that list, or if the list is not included in that grand jury transcript, then it's smoke and mirrors. So they can come back and say, okay, it wasn't there. I told you there's no list. Bullcrap. Bullcrap. Because, what's her name? Pam already sent the letter to Patel saying that she had that. She had the list plus the records, the log, all of that. But she only had 200 pages. She said she was advised that there was thousands of pages, a couple of thousands. So that's what is the grand jury transcript doesn't include thousands of pages. Okay? Because if not, then he is blowing the smoke and mirrors to throw us off. To say, I told you, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. No, it's not. But because before you said it was a hoax, a Democratic hoax, oh, Barack Obama hoax, he definitely don't have time for you. You stay in his head. He's a threat to you. You're not a threat to him. He the type that be saying, Donald who? Little Donald. Red or orange. Yeah. Okay. That's how he would handle it. But you can't shake him. And you'll never be able to shake him, in my opinion, because you can't outthink him. And he ain't trying to. He's so cool with it. He don't care nothing about none of that, man. I have a service. You have an agenda. I have a service. Two totally different things. We'll never be on the same page, ever. We ain't never have and never will. And they don't have nothing to do with how much money in your bank. It's her, baby. It's her, baby. And those things, you can't put a dollar amount on it. So carry on. Yeah. So I'm just saying, yes, he has told her to release it, but he did not tell her to release what everybody is demanding. We know there's a list, and we want the list. Okay? DT, are you with me?
To close down MCC, where Jeffrey Epstein was carted out to a hospital not far from here. Now, today is Friday, July 18th, 2025, and among the other cases, there was an announcement yesterday from Washington.
And she got civil cases,
Ghislaine,
whatever.
Grand jury transcripts of Jeffrey Epstein. Well, we're on the lookout. We've been on the lookout. As we tweeted last night, the case was before Judge Berman, of course, Jeffrey Epstein, the case against him didn't proceed because of the events I just described behind me. But against Ghislaine Maxwell, it did, and we covered that trial in great detail. Put out a book called Maxwell that has it all, including its connections to the United Nations, which I'll get to, an organization I'll name at the end of this. But so far, nothing. We follow both cases closely enough that if a filing to unseal, unless the request itself was sealed, was made, we would be alerted very quickly. So there's also some civil litigation involving Ghislaine Maxwell before Judge Preska. That's a lot more documents. There's been a lot of sealing in that case. So maybe, but that's not grand jury.
A lot of sealing. Y'all hear that? It's been a lot of sealing.
Watch this. So there's also some civil litigation involving Ghislaine Maxwell before Judge Preska. That's a lot more documents. There's been a lot of sealing in that case. So maybe, but that's not grand jury. Grand jury is a criminal matter. So watch this space. That's all I can say.
Watch
now,
this
on
space.
the Roman Storm, the reason that we're able to devote these resources today is that the trial we've been covering in great detail from 9 a.m. on each day, U.S. versus Roman Storm of Tornado Cash. Today, the jury is not meeting. There should be something this afternoon, although it's not yet in the docket. Another docket complaint. We may have to, I don't know, maybe they're just a little late on the noticing of it. But we put out a book because it's important, because this case is moving very fast, and the topics, believe it or not, although maybe not of as wide an interest as Jeffrey Epstein, few things are, is important. It's a matter of digital privacy, that's what the proponents say, versus money laundering and apparently assisting North Korea in its weapons of mass destruction. Of course, Roman Storm is not North Korean. What happened is that apparently, if you take what's been presented in court, a gaming website in Vietnam, based in Vietnam, R.I.C., and was on the Ronin Bridge, was hacked for $600 million, the government says, by the Lazarus Group of the North Korea government. We've covered them previously in the famous Bangladesh bank case down here. But, so, the money was laundered through Tornado Cash, which, you know, apparently they say it's a washing machine. It's a digital privacy thing. It's all going to come down to another fight that's coming up next week is about the expert witnesses that Roman Storm wants to put on, saying that people that hold crypto are subject to torture. And there was a case like this in Manhattan quite recently. So we'll see. But the book is out, and it's called Crypto Tornado. It's available so far in ebook and audiobook, and the paperback is well along the way. There were some issues with the cover, but it should be out. It will be out. Now, we've, again, using the freedom, we covered this Boston trial, which is, to me, it really hit its peak today. Association of American University Professors versus Rubio, and Rubio's official John Armstrong was on the stand. And I have to say, things that he said are going to be quoted in Judge Young's decision whenever it comes out. He says September.
Hold on. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. He called it piles of garbage. Let's hear this. Attorney General. Let's hear what she's saying. She'll try to answer. She will try. Now she talking about she will try.
Same old phone? Nah. It's mean 3 time zones. One eye on an edit, one foot on a...
News overnight on President Trump as he comes under growing pressure to release the Epstein files. The president has called for the release of additional material from the investigation. Amid new revelations, the White House says it does not want a special counsel. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce has the story. Good morning, Mary.
George, good morning to you. Well, the president and this White House are desperate to move past this intrigue, but some of Trump's supporters are not letting this go. They want answers. And now the president is making a sudden turn to try to satisfy his critics and silence this uproar. This morning, trying to quell the unrelenting backlash over his administration's handling of the investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, the president now ordering the attorney general to seek the release of additional material. Posting, "I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony, subject to court approval." Bondi quick to respond, "President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts." But that could be a lengthy process that could require hearings with the judge to determine the impact on victims. This morning, it's not clear if this will be enough to satisfy Trump's critics, including many of his supporters who have been demanding the release of the full FBI files on Epstein. The president's announcement coming just hours after the White House made clear Trump will not be appointing a special prosecutor to investigate, as some...
the full file. You understand? The full file. Not a piece of it.
Transcripts. But that could be a lengthy process that could require hearings with the judge to determine the impact on victims. This morning, it's not clear if this will be enough to satisfy Trump's critics, including many of his supporters who have been demanding the release of the full FBI files on Epstein. The president's announcement coming just hours after the White House made clear Trump will not be appointing a special prosecutor to investigate.
Trying to play in our face, y'all.
The president would not recommend a special prosecutor in the Epstein case. That's how he feels.
The president says Bondi has briefed him on the DOJ's investigation.
What did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
She's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
Earlier this year, the Attorney General promised to make the files public.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But over the 4th of July,
it went, because he didn't ask nothing about JFK and MLK. She flipped that all the way around, did she? She said it was on her desk. Baby, once all this over, she knows she out of here, though. Do she know? She better follow old boy and start taking vacation, use up all her sick time, all of her vacation, all of that, allegedly. What? You better start making plans.
Given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen.
Earlier this year, the Attorney General promised to make the files public.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But over the 4th of July weekend, the Justice Department and the FBI said the client list didn't actually exist and that they wouldn't be releasing any more information. Since then, the outrage from the president's supporters has only grown. But the president digging in, attempting to shift the blame, arguing this was a Democratic hoax and Republicans were duped. Trump calling the Epstein conspiracy theory, which his own top allies have pushed for years, a scam, a waste of time, and boring. But many Republicans did.
But see, the difference is this time. Because see, what he been doing is making these moves without consulting with who he normally, the good old boys or whoever is a part of his little, circle. Because there's a circle, and then there's another circle, and then there's another circle. You know what I'm saying? So he started moving without consulting them. So the problem this time, because he been playing in the face, so that means before it was approved for him to play in our face, because that means that behind the scenes, they was playing in our face too. But what happened this time, that he started playing in their face without their approval, and they was not aware. So now you don't have their backing. Now you told us a little bit about it, but this stuff that's coming out now, we ain't know nothing about that. Now everybody know. And that pretty little blonde, she said she had it. So now you got to show it. So when you had that dear friends, you supposed to be my, come on now, what we, they said, no, you did that on your own. We ain't know nothing about that move. We ain't know nothing about that move. We told you the last time you pulled a stunt. If you didn't run it through us, we ain't gonna have your back. Allegedly. I'm writing my own script. And this one, we don't want no parts of it. You know, we backed you with the, you know, Israel, Iran thing. You know, some things we just kind of been backing you. Yeah, but we've been kind of watching, and you know, you making the whole little organization look bad, my man. So it's time for us to replace you. Yeah. So you trying to say my time is up? Before my time is up? We'll get back with you. We'll get back with you. So in the meantime, he just doing whatever he want to do. I'm 100%. You have 50 days. They putting up, oh. I mean, I know he knew that they was going to do that, right? Yeah. His good old boys. But I don't know, it was something about that fleeing. It was something about that one. I'm going to try to, let me set this down. Let me find one.
Wouldn't be releasing any more information. Since then, the outrage from the president's supporters
now
has
they burning.
only grown.
Now they burning, you know, and it was, to me, it was sad to see some of his supporters when they was, Artisa had it. I'm going to play it, let y'all hear it. When they was denouncing him. It was, you know, a little sad because they really believed in his foolishness. And in my mind, I'm thinking, well, what part of what he was saying that y'all believe in? I'm just curious. Thought this was the land of the free and the home of the brave. And so, what? I mean, some of these people y'all handling better than the people who are U.S. citizens and they from foreign land. And it was as if they were really, 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 really hurt. That part blew my mind. I ain't gonna even lie. He ain't never been true about nothing. So y'all expect for a narcissist to be able to separate like that? Y'all give a narcissist that type of power? And y'all really hurt. I mean, is the world full of that many narcissists that everybody blind to facts? It's you know,
Really happened.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
But over the 4th of July weekend, the Justice Department and the FBI said the client list didn't actually exist and that they wouldn't be releasing any more information. Since then, the outrage from the president's supporters has only grown. But the president digging in, attempting to shift the blame, arguing this was a Democratic hoax and Republicans were duped. Trump calling the Epstein conspiracy theory, which his own top allies have pushed for years, a scam, a waste of time, and boring. But many Republicans disagree.
I have to disagree with the president. I don't think human trafficking of young teenage girls being exploited by billionaires on a private island is boring.
Hey, Cynthia.
Now, the Attorney General says she plans to ask the court today to release this grand jury testimony, but that could take time. These transcripts are usually highly protected, and even if this request succeeds, it falls short of what Trump's critics are demanding. So the bottom line here this morning, the president is trying to tamp down this backlash, but it's still not clear if it's going to work. Michael.
What's that Diddy song? We ain't going nowhere. We own you for life. Hold on, let me see if I can find one so I can play this. Yeah, this body serum. This is good stuff. Amalfi Glaze, Heaven Grade Body Oh no, having Grande body serum. I like this. Silky. Hold on, y'all. I like anything that, well, not anything. I like stuff that has that glow. All for news. Scan Epstein victim's attorney on Trump files controversy. Ooh wee. What's this one?
R.I.P Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara.
Hey, yeah, I'm not gonna be here long.
Whether your daily routine is...
It's been a disastrous
But you in the
so far for
bushes.
Donald Trump, and just an overall disastrous week.
Even if
He's
you in the
panicking
bushes,
this morning.
hit the like button.
Here's what he's posting. He's saying that he looks forward to taking a deposition of Rupert Murdoch. Okay, Donald. Trump posts the following.
Can y'all hear?
I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him and his, quote, pile of garbage newspaper, the Wall Street Journal. That will be an interesting experience, exclamation point. So we've reached the part in the Trump term where he is threatening Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox, and calling the Wall Street Journal a garbage newspaper. I think that tells you how unpopular Donald Trump is at this point. And we all know Donald Trump's the one who's not going to sit for a deposition. I know Donald Trump's going to be way too scared to have questions asked to him about his connections with Jeffrey Epstein and about the letter that was the subject of the Wall Street Journal article allegedly sent to Jeffrey Epstein for Epstein's 50th birthday, where Trump is alleged to have written things like, "Our secrets will always remain secret. You know we love those young enigmas. You know what I'm talking about, Jeffrey." And Donald Trump's defense never drew photos because in the letter to Epstein as alleged...
Oh, they don't letters, baby.
Trump drew a photo of a naked girl and then signed his name where the puke region would be. And that sounds consistent with the types of things that you would do, Donald. And Donald Trump writes the following this morning as well. I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings. I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next. Has even less talent than Colbert. Greg Gutfeld is better than all of them combined, including the moron on NBC. The once great Tonight Show. Greg Gutfeld on Fox is probably the least individual imaginable. He's the guy recently who said that to take over the word Nazi and call it the N-word. People consider using the N-word because they want to be called Nazis now. That's not funny at all. And this is the exact that we see authoritarians do all the time. When Putin got into power, he fired all of the cartoonists and comedians in Russia who would mock him before. And this is just authoritarian 101. Speaking of, Donald Trump then attacks the chairman of the Federal Reserve, once again, Jerome Powell, because Trump's like a little baby. He's like, why aren't you resigning? I want you to resign. Here's what Donald Trump writes. Too late. He calls the chairman of the Federal Reserve too late. He goes, too late, and the Fed are choking out the housing market with their high rate, making it difficult for people, especially the young, to buy a house. He is truly one of my worst appointments. Sleepy Joe saw how bad he was and reappointed him anyway. The Fed board has done nothing to stop this numbskull from hurting so many people. In many ways, the board is equally to blame. The U.S. is a rockin'. There is very low inflation. We deserve to be at 1%, saving $1 trillion a year on interest costs. I can't tell you how dumb too late is. So bad for our country. If you dropped interest rates precipitously to 1%,
insults for me.
Great Depression. Our inflation would look like inflation in Argentina. It would be like 50% inflation or something like that. Do I like that the interest rates are where they are? No, but they need to be, unfortunately, because of your fiscal economic catastrophe that you've created with your trade war against the world. The interest rates were going down, slow and steady, the way they needed to in a slow and steady situation, a responsible situation. And then you declared a trade war against the world, and we're seeing serious inflation. I mean, by the way, I saw a recent report that if you just look at some of the prices at Walmart, or you could see any department store, some of the prices there from May to July
It's crazy.
of some of the goods, it's up like 51%. There are some that are up 5%, 10%, 20%. There are some that are up 50%.
And you want
my experience when I go shopping is I
families,
go,
mothers
wow,
to
that
feed
got
their
a lot more
kids at these
expensive. Wow,
prices.
that got a lot more expensive. The prices are getting higher. Housing is less affordable. You made the promise that you would make housing more affordable and that prices would go down. And now you want to find your next Dr. Fauci, your next scapegoat. And as Donald Trump's approval is hitting record lows, as low as anybody in the history at this time of the presidency, bring in MAGA Mike Johnson and the sycophants. They go on, the morning shows today. And MAGA Mike Johnson's like, oh, Donald Trump has never been more popular. He's the most popular there is. Here's MAGA Mike Johnson this morning. Let's play him.
Look, the president is the most maligned and attacked political figure in the history of American politics. There's no question about it. But he's also the most resilient. And you see at the same time, his approval ratings are skyrocketing. By CNN had a story, I think, a day or two ago. He was at 90% approval rating. There's never been a president that high. So the more that they attack him, the more the American people see through it.
And then MAGA Mike Johnson was asked about the Wall Street Journal
lies
story, which says that Donald Trump on Epstein's 50th birthday sent Epstein a birthday letter talking about their secrets together, the young enigmas that nobody should ever know about. And Donald Trump's excuses, I never drew photos. And again, we've seen so many photos of Donald Trump drawing photos and doodling. But MAGA Mike goes, Donald Trump told me he never draws, and that doesn't sound like him. What do you mean it doesn't sound like him? He's on audio saying that he grabs women by their genitals because he's rich and they let you do it.
And he's on audio talking about his drawings.
Locker room talk, and that's how men speak when men don't speak like that. Trump says things like that all the time. What are you talking about? Here's MAGA Mike Johnson. Let's play it.
Sirens on drugs, woo, 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 because someone drew in 2003. Might have drawn a picture of a body letter before the guy even, all the real info hadn't even been out at that point, I don't think, about this guy.
The president and I talked about that ridiculous allegation this morning. He said it's patently absurd. He's never drawn such a picture. He's never thought of drawing such a
Watch all these pictures start falling out.
The language of this bogus supposed communication or
I thought he drew pictures and auctioned them off.
I don't think like that. They're literally making things up. And he's so frustrated by it.
But he don't forget.
He's going to wind up, I think, suing some of the media outlets that had put all this out there because they informed them that it was totally contrived. So, look, the president is the most maligned and attacked political figure in the history of American politics. There's no question about it. But he's also the most resilient. And you see at the same time, his approval ratings are skyrocketing. CNN had a story, I think, a day or two ago. He was at 90%.
They're talking about fake news. Boy, they sure can't lie, can't they?
So the more that they attack him, the more the American people see through it.
If you're a homeowner, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud, lock.com, and use promo code MIDAS. That's home.
The floods. What are we talking about here? I just want you to, how horrific. And then you had Kristi Noem give a press conference in the morning saying that this is exactly how things should be. We're going to have nearly 300 people dead. We haven't even been able to recover the bodies. It took you 72 hours to activate urban search and rescue teams. You shut down the call centers by not renewing their contracts the day after the floods.
Boo!
Play this clip of Kristi Noem.
And those local officials should. We come in and support them. What you saw happen in Texas was much more how FEMA will look in the future. It won't look like the response to Katrina or the response to even Helene and what happened in North Carolina, where people waited weeks and weeks and months for help or for people to show up.
Are they in denial?
And it never came. You look at claims from Katrina, some of them still haven't been paid today.
And also the press secretary for the State Department is confirming that the United States will indeed be eviscerating all of the stock of the food rations, the emergency food rations for hungry people internationally, rather than deliver them to, say, Gaza or deliver them to places in need. We're about to just burn them all. Just burn them. And here's her excuse. Let's play it.
The story here is the nature of the commitment of the United States to food aid, which we all commit to, but also still, like everything else, doing it more efficiently, with less expense, but with the same framework. So yes, there's a dynamic there where we're going to destroy, we have before, the emergency food rations in particular that might expire, and then replenish them.
Folks, you should all know that the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, while covering up the Epstein list, she is in Alcatraz, not the alligator concentration camp in Florida. She is in the concentration camp. Well, she's in the actual Alcatraz in San Francisco.
Piss poor job. Quit lying. Quit lying in folks' face.
We like in the Trump administration. Here, play this clip.
It could hold middle class
alligator
prisoners.
Alcatraz.
It could hold illegal aliens. It could hold anything. This is a terrific facility. Needs a lot of work, but no one has been known to escape from Alcatraz and survive.
Now,
alligator Alcatraz.
Donald Trump's disastrous trade war against the world.
Boo!
Which it's an organization that looks at it has ratings and it analyzes these numbers. So the U.S. effective tariff
unacceptable
rate may be about 19.4%. When you blend all of our tariffs against the world, you're looking at 19.4% with the new reciprocal levies. That's not good.
No, at all. It's not. Stop trying to act like it is. You know it.
More expensive. The question is are the companies, how much can they?
But who did you piss off?
The country doesn't eat the tariffs because the countries,
who did you piss off?
Don't pay it. The importing companies do. The question is how much can they stomach? And we're
Hit
seeing
the
them
like
raise
button.
the prices. As I mentioned, the Walmart example. Also, it does seem like the UK and India, they're actually entering into a real trade deal together that's going to cover whiskey, electric vehicles, textiles, and more. So they're actually doing a deal. Remember when Donald Trump announced earlier this week that he had a deal with Indonesia? No. As I said, you can't listen to what he says because he lies about everything. You have to evaluate the conduct. Indonesia has said today it is still negotiating the details and exemptions, and it has not made any final decisions yet. So there is that. And, I always want to highlight in these videos, the good work of unions. The AFL-CIO is doing their Better in a Union bus tour across the country. And some of the members and workers were in Charlotte this week, rallying with Wells Fargo workers who are organizing a union. As Liz Schuler, president of AFL-CIO, explains, our voices are more powerful when we join unions. Shout out to AFL-CIO for the work that they're doing. I want to show you this clip right here of one of those Wells Fargo workers happy to be joining a union. Play this clip.
Hi, everybody. My name is Brittany, and I work for Wells Fargo, and my branch is unionized under CWS. So it is better in a union because you are protected, you have family, and you have support. That is why I decided to help my branch organize to unionize.
Yeah, big shout out to the bus tour. Great work over there. Everybody, please hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.midastouch.com.
Truth over lies, facts over fiction. Truth over lies, facts over fiction. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this other. Facts over fiction. I can't do nothing with no lie, baby. Nothing at all. I can't do nothing with no lie. CEO. I can't do nothing with it. How'd I get down there?
prize collection at
What's the secret question?
Amazing means spending more time together. Put that on the high.
This is one that we have been tracking very, very closely as the back and forth does continue over the release of the files in the Jeffrey
Hey,
Epstein
Mrs. Tom.
case. President Trump has now called for Attorney General Pam Bondi to make public the grand jury testimony, or at least some of it. Take a look right here at this post coming in from President Trump on Truth Social. You can see it right there on your screen here.
We want the list.
Quote, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam, perpetuated by the Democrats, should end right now. End quote there.
He's still
Again,
lying.
we are keeping a live look here on the situation as we bring you all of the latest details. Bondi reacting on X, saying, quote, we are ready to move the court to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Now, a handful of Republicans have joined Democrats in requesting that all files be released. House Speaker Mike Johnson calling, quote, for transparency, saying that Bondi should, quote, put everything out there and let the people decide. Just last week, the Justice Department and the FBI issued a 2-page statement saying that it concluded that Epstein did not have a client list and more files would not be released. A lot to break down here, and I actually do want to bring in Spencer Kubin. He is the Chief Legal Officer of Gold Law, and he's represented 9 of Epstein's victims, including the first victim ever to go to police. Thank you so much for taking the time, Spencer, to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Of course. And first off, I did want to ask you overall your thoughts on the comments there from President Trump that he is asking Bondi to release that grand jury testimony there. Is that enough?
I think that's a good first step.
First step.
But it should not be the final step in the process.
Thank
here.
you.
We know that the feds took into custody thousands of hours of videotapes that were confiscated both at the mansion here in Palm Beach as well as the one in Manhattan, and as well as the island mansion that he had in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. Where are the videotapes? We want to see those tapes. We also knew through the sworn testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell in her litigation that there were computer files that had names in them. He had phone records, he had phone logs, he had people that he was meeting. All of this would be pertinent information that should be released. And I would say, look, Ghislaine Maxwell has said that she would be willing to testify before Congress. Call her forward to testify before Congress about whatever lists exists or people that visited the homes and people that were involved in the scheme. In addition to that, we know that these videotapes will show people that visited these homes. Let's see the videotapes. President Trump should issue an executive order tomorrow demanding the release of all this information immediately.
Demanded.
About the fact that some Republicans, a handful of them, have actually joined in with Democrats calling for the release of any sort of client list that might exist, but also the files in general. What does that say to you overall?
I think what it says clearly is this is a nonpartisan issue. This is an issue to protect children, both in the past and in the future. You know, these are pedophilic individuals who we know were running a ring of pedophiles that were essentially trading girls, young girls, for sex and influence and power. So we want to uncover everything that exists out there.
Oh, yes. Somebody talking.
Look, President Trump is very powerful. He should immediately issue an executive order demanding the release of this information. Don't wait around for Congress. Don't wait around for the courts. Do it and do it now.
Y'all hear
When
that?
you talk about the situation that has been unfolding, I want to go back in reverse a little bit. When you see that memo that is released last week, I don't know if you've been in touch with any of your clients there that are related to the case, but what goes through your mind initially as you see them say there is no client list?
It's absurd.
Thank you.
You know, look.
Stop playing that face.
In the litigation, an actual list, a paper document that outlined individuals and what they did. No, I never saw an actual list. But what I did see during the litigation were numerous phone message logs of people that were calling the mansion on numerous different occasions when they were in town. What I am aware of are clients that were traded essentially like trading cards for sexual favors to individuals. You know, this information is going to be contained within the investigative files of the FBI, and it's not going to be necessarily some printed list. That's just not the way these people operate. They operate on innuendos and favors, but we have the information. Our government has that information. Let's get it. Let's release it and let the public decide.
When you talk overall about thousands of hours of surveillance video, phone records, have you or any of your clients actually been able to see any of that? And what, I guess, leads you to know that this exists?
He said he's seen it.
Well, we know it exists because the administration admitted it existed. You know, the administration has gone on record stating that they have files, information, data, video.
Now, who is he?
Admitted by the FBI.
Last week, the Justice Department and the FBI issued a 2-page statement. This is one that we have been tracking very, very closely. As
he talked like he got some sense.
Continue over the release of the files in the Jeffrey Epstein case.
This
President
is
Trump
it
has
is.
now called for Attorney General Pam Bondi to make public the grand
It
jury
is very gross, but it exists. Now we may not have known how deep it was.
On Truth Social, you can see it right there on your screen here. He did say, quote, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam, perpetuated by the Democrats, should end right now, end quote there. Again, you are keeping a live look here on the situation as we bring you all of the latest details. Bondi reacting on X, saying, quote, we are ready to move the court to unseal the grand jury transcripts. Now, a handful of Republicans have joined Democrats in requesting that all files be released. House Speaker Mike Johnson calling, quote, for transparency, saying that Bondi should, quote, put everything out there and let the people decide. Just last week, the Justice Department and the FBI issued a 2-page statement saying that it concluded that Epstein did not have a client list and more files would not be released. A lot to break down here, and I actually do want to bring in Spencer Kubin. He is the Chief Legal Officer of Gold Law, and he's represented 9 of Epstein's victims, including the first victim ever to go to police. Thank you so much for taking the time, Spencer, to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me on today. I appreciate it.
Of course. And first off, I did want to ask you overall your thoughts on the comments there from President Trump that he is asking Bondi to release that grand jury testimony there. Is that enough?
I think that's a good first step, but it should not be the final step in the process here. We know that the feds took into custody thousands of hours of videotapes that were confiscated both at the mansion here in Palm Beach as well as the one in Manhattan, and as well as the island mansion that he had in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. Where are the videotapes? We want to see those tapes. We also knew through the sworn testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell in her litigation that there were computer files that had names in them. He had phone records, he had phone logs, he had people that he was meeting. All of this would be pertinent information that should be released. And I would say, look, Ghislaine Maxwell has said that she would be willing to testify before Congress. Call her forward to testify before Congress about whatever lists exists or people that visited the homes and people that were involved in the scheme. In addition to that, we know that these videotapes will show people that visited these homes. Let's see the videotapes. President Trump should issue an executive order tomorrow demanding the release of all this information immediately.
What do you think about the fact that some Republicans, a handful of them, have actually joined in with Democrats calling for the release of any sort of client list that might exist, but also the files in general? What does that say to you overall?
I think what it says clearly is this is a nonpartisan issue. This is an issue to protect children, both in the past and in the future. You know, these are pedophilic individuals who we know were running a ring of pedophiles that were essentially trading girls, young girls, for sex and influence and power. So we want to uncover everything that exists out there. Like I said, look, President Trump is very powerful. He should immediately issue an executive order demanding the release of this information. Don't wait around for Congress. Don't wait around for the courts. Do it and do it now.
When you talk about the situation that has been unfolding, I want to go back in reverse a little bit. When you see that memo that is released last week, I don't know if you've been in touch with any of your clients there that are related to the case, but what goes through your mind initially as you see them say there is no client list?
It's absurd. Look, was there ever in the litigation an actual list, a paper document that outlined individuals and what they did? No, I never saw an actual list.
You just want the name.
But what I did see during the litigation were numerous phone message logs of people that were calling the mansion on numerous different occasions when they were in town. What I am aware of are clients that were traded essentially like trading cards for sexual favors to individuals. This information is going to be contained within the investigative files of the FBI. And it's not going to be necessarily some printed list. That's just not the way these people operate. They operate on innuendos and favors. But we have the information. Our government has that information. Let's get it. Let's release it and let the public decide.
When you talk overall about thousands of hours of surveillance video, phone records, have you or any of your clients actually been able to see any of that? And what, I guess, leads you to know that this exists?
Well, we know it exists because the administration admitted it existed. The administration has gone on record stating that they have files, information, data, video. This was admitted by the FBI and public documents saying that this is what we have. So in addition to that, my clients and I have seen that there are numerous different videos that exist. One of my clients testified in her case that she had seen entire video rooms contained within the mansion in New York with monitors and recording devices of people that were going in and out of the house. So we know they're there, we know they exist, and we know that the FBI has confiscated it.
My last question here, what is your next move overall as all of this does kind of play out? We wait to see what the next step is. What is your next step to advocate for the release of the files?
I think that, on behalf of the victims that I represented, my job is to do what I'm doing here today with you and Fox News, is to get the word out and to get the public involved in demanding the release of this information. It has been 20 years since my client first went to police to report this pervert on Palm Beach Island. 20 years. That information should be out in the public by now. The world should see it, and we should pass judgment on anyone and everyone that was involved in this conspiracy.
20
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. Anything else that I missed? Anything you want to add before I let you go?
Imagine being a victim of
Epstein
it.
has been going on for a long time, and
Horrible.
I think that this administration promised us that it would release this, data and all of the files.
So when people start saying, well, why Biden and Kamala didn't? They didn't promise that. This administration did. Came in swinging with it. Yeah, I just did a poll, y'all. You in the bushes, please do the poll. If found on there, should he be impeached? Removal, impeached. Like, hey, E. Nicole. Hey, Precious, how you doing? If he is on that list. Oh, and E. Nicole, I know you know how I feel about, I know you know. I know you know how I feel about predators, baby. I know you know. You know I ain't letting up, right? I really like this glaze. I really like this stuff. Can y'all see it? Body glaze. It's a really, yeah. I voted yes. I'm driving. I'm here though. And I absolutely, how you feel. So this is the problem. This imagines people, young people, men and female, male boys and girls, who were traumatized Innocence taken. The adults who supposed to have protected them was the ones who was, you know, they say trafficking. I'm going to say pimping. With no care in the world. And then leave them to go on in the world and to be what? I mean, sometimes they appear to be productive, but the reality of it is that they are broken. You really never go past that age where you were taken advantage of. Yeah, so it's horrible to me. And I just cannot support a pervert like that. I want the list. And, you know, however they want to word it, all that type of stuff, that don't mean nothing to me. He is number 174. Who is 173, 172, 171, 170, 169, 168? Who are they? Okay. I can't worry about who 175 is, because there may not be a 175. If we're gonna keep it real. He could have been the last entry. But you just don't start with 174. Who 150? Who number one? Yeah, that part. That part. Well, what you saying, girl? I just saw you. You know, I love these.
What they've done.
I love these girls. I ain't gonna even lie.
About Epstein. Would you declassify the 9/11 files? Yeah. Would you declassify JFK files? Yeah. Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah. All right, I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff. And
what they've done on Fox editing Donald Trump about Epstein. Would you declassify the 9/11 files? Yeah. Would you declassify JFK files? Yeah. Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. All right, I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know.
Classify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. All right, I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know it. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because it's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. Lisa.
Do you think that would restore trust?
What whole world?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died. It'd be interesting to find out what happened there because that was a weird situation and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera.
Even he says there was something suspicious about Epstein's death. And he was relying upon the videos that, according to Pam Bondi, are impeccable.
It ain't gonna work because that's not.
So
because from that point he went on. No, it didn't give him an out. You know why? Because from that point he went on. So he went on and started talking about who was on the list. Remember, Miss? Oh, my battery low. Oh. Remember, he left there in his campaign, and he started talking about Bill Clinton was on Paddo Island. He brought up Andrew. He also brought up some other people, you know. So it didn't just stop there. He started campaigning on it. And that's the thing about some of the people who voted for him, who is now, they all were there. Now, in all fairness, just because, I mean, I just wouldn't have went. I just would not have went, but that's me. But let's say you went and you didn't partake. That's one thing. If you went and you saw and you didn't say nothing, it ain't just as bad, it's bad. But it's the ones who really rob them young people of their innocence. And baby, I don't know if it's real or not. That's why I ain't played it. But I saw, a TikTok thing. And and they was around some kids. I don't know if that, I don't, you know, that's why I don't like the AI stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Why not let people make decisions on their own, hopefully using critical thinking skills, but based upon the facts and the evidence?
But you know, let me tell you, that's he's the type of narcissist. To me, this is just my opinion. Oh yeah, this is the one. This that long letter. He's the type of narcissist to me that will do a crime and be on the scene. That'll come back to the earth scene. You understand? Just to see. And then be... Okay. Just to see. And then we'll go out on a search and hunt, you know, for a victim. Knowing good and damn well it's him. He that type to me. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying he that type to me. That will return to the scene of the crime. Just to see. Just to hear. You know. And be on TV and give a statement. All along, he's the suspect. That's the type of narcissist he is to me. Because in my mind, I'm saying that if you know that you was a part of it, why did you even bring it up? That's me. Now, somebody will be saying, well, it ain't true, because if it was true, he wouldn't have brought it up. Oh, that don't mean like that. That don't mean that with him. Because he think he's protected. See. Yeah, so he rubbing elbows with the gatekeeper, in my opinion. So he thinks he's protected. So yes, he can mention what he probably shouldn't mention, because, you know, the intelligent people, hell, half intelligent. Oh, did it say? Oh, I don't like that red. What's that red? I don't know what that red warning up there is. I'm gonna have to get on out. It will be saying one thing that kind of threw me. I don't know what that is. I forgot what I was saying. I know I was talking about intelligence. Will be questioning something. I don't remember that. He's that full of Because why would you even be bringing up something that you know that you're a part of? That's what I was going to say. Because the intelligent people will be saying, well, how do you know they was there? How you know? Is this fake news you're giving us, or is it facts, sir? And if it's facts, how do you know? Were you there? Well, why were you there? What did you see? Who did you tell? See, that's what I would be saying and thinking. So it's the former General Mike Flynn has a message to Trump about the Epstein. He said affair. He said affair. Oh. Okay, y'all can't see. It says affair. I'm trying to make it so y'all can see it. He didn't say situation, circumstance. That man said affair. What affair? He says that. He said He said that it is not. Oh, okay. I didn't understand what that was saying. He said it is not going away. He said, Diddy said, we ain't going nowhere. It ain't going away. Why he say affair? He didn't say affairs like, take care of your affairs. Why he say affair? Why he say it like that? Oh. What? I don't want that sound. Please understand the Epstein affair is not going away. If the administration doesn't address this massive number of unanswered questions about Epstein, especially the abuse of children by elites, it's very clear that abuse occurred. Then moving forward on so many other monumental challenges our nation is facing becomes much harder. I'm saying it in a military tone, Y'all. Trust, all capital letters, was deeply violated by both, he said, Biden and Barack. That our administration must, in all cap letters, be above reproach. Okay, that's how you feel. Keep going, carry on. I ain't here to debate you, Flynn. That's how you feel, respectfully. Go on, keep going. And never forget, anyone who causes these little ones to stumble, it would be better to have a milestone hung around. Ooh. It wasn't milestone. It was a mill. I don't know if I should say this. A millstone hung and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. Ooh. He said we cannot allow PDF files to go away. Y'all catching my military? I don't personally care who they are or what elite our powerful position they hold, or what elite or powerful position they hold. Let me repeat. DT. He said we cannot allow the PDF filers to get away. I don't personally care who they are or what the elite or powerful positions they have. I don't give a shit. They must, you catch the T, they must be exposed and held accountable. Okay. I said, Mike Flynn, you got me. You okay? He popped out, baby. He had all of his medals and shit. This was yesterday. And he put out a release. Woo. Yeah, it was a picture. I'm scared to play that. I'm scared to play that. Because they was all around some kids. Some little girls just clapping and being happy. Had Little Red Riding Hoods. Didn't have no earthly idea that they was circled around some wolves. Okay, let me check this one out, y'all, before I go. Because I gotta go. I gotta get back to doing what I was. Well, this was 4 minutes ago, so I'm trying to see what that latest update was. Yeah, she falling apart. I wonder where's that one about illegals. Him throwing her up under the bus. I gotta find it. I'm gonna find it for the other channel. Let's see what this one is before I go. Is this a Trump and Obama issue announcement?
Joining us now, former Manhattan Assistant DA Catherine Christian, former federal prosecutor George.
Let me hear this one.
You're watching the legal breakdown, Glenn. The Epstein pressure is very clearly getting to Trump because he just had to offer a concession up to his audience. He took to Truth Social writing, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to
Oh, and Bill Riley got
This
busted
scam
yesterday.
by the Democrats should end right now. And then Pam Bondi chimed in
That's
and said,
convicted.
President Trump, we are ready to move the court tomorrow to unseal the grand jury transcripts. And so again, they're trying to offer up the optics that they're giving a concession, but can you dig into what this actually means?
Yeah,
that
tell
they're
us.
focusing on grand jury testimony, that they're focusing on pertinent testimony. Will we be getting all of the information that we were promised?
You know, we may be getting exactly zero information because the court would have to order the release of grand jury transcripts. This feels more like a Hollywood production, maybe another episode of The Apprentice.
Playing in our face.
Right? This is a reality show. It's not, in fact, reality. And here's why, Brian. First of all, we have to start with the rules that govern grand jury transcripts and all grand jury materials.
Because that ain't what we asked for.
Procedure 6E. Here's what it stands for. Grand jury information. That means witness testimony, records that are produced pursuant to grand jury subpoenas, telephone records, photographs, videotapes, you name it. It is all protected by grand jury secrecy, and here's what everybody needs to know. The rules only provide that a court, a judge, may order the release of grand jury materials for only very specific and limited reasons. Like, and I've lived this for decades. So, for example, I'm prosecuting somebody.
So he was playing in our face again.
Before the grand jury, and they say,
If
oh, you
this
know what? The
goes in the right direction, this is going to go far and deep. Oh, yes.
And he killed somebody in Virginia as well. That was our lived experience in
I
the
knew that was
DC
the smoke and mirrors, y'all.
case. And
it was smoke and mirrors. And I knew this. I'm pausing this because I'm out of juice and my phone is hot. And then I'm going to go, what time is it? To around 4:30, I'll be on the main page. Let me tell you how I knew this was smoke and mirrors. Because he came out and said, okay. Since it's getting all this, you know, then I get permission. But that ain't what we asked for. Ain't nobody said nothing about no grand jury testimony. So where'd that come from? Why you slaying that out there like, give them what they want? That ain't what they asked for. And people keep saying it ain't no list, but his AG said it was when she sent that letter to Patel. She said she only got 200 pages, phones, logs, a client list, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But she was advised that there was 2,000 pages. So she said when she sent the letter to Patel that that's what she had. So we asked for the client's list. We want to see who names is on there. But that guy who went the step, what is it? I can't remember the name of it, where we have the right to get that information. He said he got the paperwork. And, you know, he just threw out Ivanka's name, but he saw the list of the people. And I absolutely believe it because there's just no way logically Trump is number 174. We just want to see who 1 to 173 is. Who is 1 to 173? We'll worry about how far it go down later. Let's just start with 1 to 173. Let's play that ball game. What's there? So I knew it was smoke and mirrors. And so here go Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, I'm finna get ready to go. Please hit the like button on your way out. Bill O'Reilly trying to put it on Biden. Listen.
I believe, okay, under Merrick Garland's Justice Department. That could be, am I wrong on that?
You wrong.
I don't think so.
Yes, you are.
And then he was incarcerated, and then he committed suicide. Okay.
He on a lot of
stuff. Thing is bull. Bill,
I think this is important. Bill, I think this is important.
Stop trying to make excuses for him.
He was arrested in 2019, and he committed suicide in 2019.
On a lighter, sir.
August 10th of 2019. So the Biden administration was not involved in a conviction or a trial of him. They were of his madam, of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay. And that's a good point of clarification. But he was arrested and indicted under Merrick Garland.
No, under Trump.
You had all the information.
Under Trump.
No.
Epstein was arrested, indicted, and committed suicide under Trump. In 2019, Trump was president. Merrick Garland was not the attorney general.
It's dumbass. The co was 19. That's why it's called co VID 19. He was president. And let us not forget about that. That's when he was going to push. There was agenda even with that because he was coming up with the vaccine. He was going to be the one who was going to, yeah, y'all don't want to know the truth. Yeah, he got caught.
Okay.
How is he convicted? How do you convict a guy who's dead?
He was convicted in, I believe, okay, under Merrick Garland's Justice Department. That could be, am I wrong on that?
Yes, you're wrong.
I don't think so. And he
that we're able to get back to showing the American taxpayers where their dollars have been going. Has a 24-karat gold-plated finish and is thought to have cost around $230,000 to make. If FIFA lets Trump keep the orbital award for good,
it's likely to end up in the National Archives. So he just sees something he wants and he just takes it. I call this This is the latest update on the Sean Diddy Combs trial. This is the latest update on the Sean Diddy Combs trial.
Of 3,000. And who have raised their children in the United States are being targeted. This administration's claim that it aims to deport violent criminals is a falsehood. What we are witnessing is the erosion of due process. I have been especially troubled by the image of a landscaper, a man whose sons have served in the Marines, being punched repeatedly in the head by ICE agents this past Sunday. Is this something my Republican colleagues are proud of? That we repay veterans of the United States Marine Corps by assaulting, detaining, and deporting their father, who was simply trying to provide for his family? Last week, I joined several of my colleagues to tour the Adelanto ICE Detention Center. And thanks to the work of my colleague, Representative Judy Chu, our delegation was able to enter the facility to conduct an oversight visit and speak with some of those being detained. And what I saw was people held in deplorable conditions, many of them being denied access to clean clothes for 10 days. Immigrant detention is a multi-million-dollar industry, with some private prison groups now aiming to cash in on the funding included in the Republican spending bill. The GEO group that owns Adelanto boasted about a $31 million windfall if they keep full capacity. Republicans want to boost the funding of ICE to hire more masked agents and pay out more contracts like that at Adelanto. According to my Republican colleagues, our budget is too tight to provide health care or groceries for those in need. It's too tight to keep hospitals in rural areas open, but it's flush with enough cash to pay for more masked agents and more inhumane detention facilities for those who are beaten and dragged off the street. Now, this is not who we are. This is not the character of our country. And I don't think my Republican colleagues understand the gravity of their silence. It seems they have silenced from speaking out against this brutality due to the fear of this presidency. They've kept their silence because of the brutality, against this brutality, because they are afraid of this president. They're even too afraid to hold town halls to face their own constituents. It's sad that many members of Congress have rolled over and enabled this cruelty that is now happening in our country. But there are members on this side of the aisle who have not been silent, who have actively opposed this president and will continue to speak out. Democrats will continue to be a check against this president. We will continue to fight for due process rights of every American. And we will continue to show up in our communities so that the American people can see that there are some members of Congress who will actually listen to and fight for them. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you, Congressman Takano. I'd like to also bring now and yield to Congressman Hank Johnson from Georgia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I commend you, Congresswoman Ramirez, for conducting this special order hour, and thank you for the time. Mr. Speaker, I rise today with my Congressional Progressive Caucus colleagues to express my utter horror at the way in which the Trump administration is catapulting us towards an authoritarian state. We in Congress are one of the three branches of government, yet the president has been acting like a king since day one. Since assuming office, Donald Trump has dismantled federal agencies and unlawfully halted billions of dollars in congressionally appropriated federal funding. He has undermined the delicate system of checks and balances by flagrantly ignoring court orders. He's arrested a judge, a mayor. He has threatened to arrest a sitting governor. He has taken to the floor and handcuffed and detained a United States senator. And he has accused and caused to be indicted a United States congresswoman for having the temerity to do her job by being at an ICE facility to conduct oversight. He has also violated the right to due process by dispatching armed, masked, unidentifiable people wearing plain clothes and tactical gear onto the streets of select American cities where they pull up on people, jump out with assault weapons, force them into unmarked cars, and disappear them. Their families learn days later that their loved one has been shipped off to a foreign gulag without presenting evidence to a judge that they should be removed. Trump has done this to legal permanent residents and talked openly about doing it to American citizens. While unleashing terror on our streets, Trump's brazenly corrupt decision to accept a $400 million Boeing 747 jet from Qatar for his personal use, it's a direct violation of the emoluments clause of our Constitution, and it has caused a firestorm of controversy. But yet, Republicans, MAGA Republicans in control of Congress, turn a blind eye to it. They are afraid to hold Donald Trump accountable. They are afraid to investigate the serious national security, public integrity, and foreign policy implications of the president accepting an emolument from a foreign government and flying around in a Qatari jumbo jet and taking it with him as a door prize when he leaves office in January 2029, if he leaves office. This is blatant, in-your-face corruption to see how far he can go in his attempt to replace democracy with dictatorship. Congress has the authority to introduce articles of impeachment against the president, but I don't expect that it's going to happen because they're too afraid to do so. It's the ultimate exercise of congressional oversight, and it requires a simple majority vote in the House of Representatives and a 2/3 majority vote in the Senate in order to impeach and convict. I'm prepared to take any necessary action to stop Trump's reckless assault on the federal government and upon our democracy. While I believe many of Donald Trump's actions merit impeachment, I believe that the critical first step needs to be taken by this body as soon as possible. But as I said before, I don't expect it to happen because Republicans, MAGA Republicans, have completely abdicated their constitutional responsibility to exercise any shred of oversight on this out-of-control executive. In fact, this Congress has acted as a rubber stamp as Trump consolidates power in and unto himself. Time and time again, they continue to capitulate on their core principles in complete sycophancy of Trump's disastrous anti-democratic agenda. Despite being in the minority, House Democrats are working tirelessly to push back against Trump's hostile government takeover by litigating his illegal actions, introducing legislation to curb his powers, and mobilizing the public against his destructive agenda. I've joined thousands of Georgians and millions of Americans against the Trump administration's attack on Social Security, on Medicare, on Medicaid, and other public services, including SNAP benefits for children, infants, and seniors. Though it's unlikely that a Republican-led House will do anything to hold this executive accountable, we'll continue to do everything we can to demonstrate to the American people that we're not going to take this laying down. We're going to be with them. We're going to be out on the streets in peaceful protest, and we're going to make sure that we preserve and protect this democracy that our forefathers and foremothers have fought so hard to guarantee to us. I'll not stop doing the job that my constituents sent me to Washington to do because a megalomaniac is trying to override the Constitution, and I hope that my colleagues on both sides of the aisle will do the same. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.
Thank you, Congressman Johnson. Congressman Johnson, I don't know about you, but, and perhaps in Georgia or in other parts of the country this may be happening, but I have not met a constituent who has told me, Congresswoman Ramirez, I wake up in the morning asking, you know, how could my life be better? And then answering it immediately by saying, you know how my life would be better? If the President of the United States of America had a $450 million new plane that had been donated from a foreign country. I've never heard a constituent tell me when I've asked them, like, what's the most important thing for you right now? Well, you know what's the most important thing for me? For Kristi Noem to get $50 million more in the budget. By the way, I cut my Medicaid, cut groceries, and cut SNAP benefits, but because what I really want is this person that was never elected to get an upgrade on a plane and make sure that you dedicate $50 million of taxpayer dollars so that she can have a brand new plane so she can cosplay wherever the hell she's going. I've never heard of that. And so as I hear you, I'm curious, like, what member of Congress has heard from their constituent, perhaps in Louisiana or perhaps in other parts of the country, that what they care most about is that we cut their health care, that we cut SNAP benefits, that we make it harder for them to age in place or retire with dignity? Because their number one priority is to take their taxpayer dollars to ensure that the president becomes even richer and she gets more costumes to wear around the country. I really want to thank you for your work and for your courageous leadership. And something you said, our constituents didn't send us here to make sure that the rich get richer. Our constituents didn't send us here so that the president can become even richer by selling off coins or offering people to be able to come to the White House that taxpayers pay for and have dinner with him if they invest more on his challenge coins. Our constituents said, the rent is too darn high. I can't buy a house. I have to choose between going to the doctor and buying groceries. I don't know if I could afford the car payment and tuition for my son or daughter who's in college. And this darn job I have is so difficult to make sure that I can cover the cost, so I have to work a second job. What are you going to do about it? Which is why I'm so grateful that we're here having a conversation about what the job of members of Congress is, to make the life of their constituents better. Not to make Donald Trump's life better, not to make Kristi Noem's life better or richer, but to make their life better. And one of the other things that we should be doing as members of Congress is affirming that we are a co-equal branch of government, the thing that we ask 8th graders about in their Constitution test all around the country. And part of that work is oversight. But it is ridiculous to me, infuriating, that my Republican colleagues who continue to obstruct oversight every chance they can don't seem to agree. They seem to think that who got them elected, who they serve, who the only person that matters, not the 730,000 constituents they have, is Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, and Elon Musk, as long as he and Donald Trump are getting along and paying for elections. Congress's power is critical in this moment. And Congressman Johnson, you said it so beautifully. We have to do everything in our power to ensure that our constituents know who we're here for. Otherwise, we can't be the people's house. Congress's powers are established to be a check on an out-of-control lawless executive branch like the Trump administration. For instance, when the executive branch decides to use a notorious offshore prison with a history of gross human rights violations as their staging location for mass deportations without due process and in violation of international law, I thought that would be an ideal time for Congress to conduct oversight. It's why I requested that the Committee on Homeland Security, that some of us here serve on, would conduct an official oversight visit to CECOT. I was of the opinion that a congressional delegation needed to urgently go to CECOT in El Salvador and check on the health and well-being of all the political prisoners who we have sent to that heinous place. My Republican colleagues disagreed, and Chairman Mark Green said that my official request to conduct oversight in my capacity as a member of the Committee on Homeland Security's Subcommittee on Oversight, Investigations, and Accountability was, quote, to virtual signal to my radical base. Well, at least he responded to that one, because when I asked them to conduct oversight of Guantanamo, after the first flights to Guantanamo separated undocumented immigrants from the protections of our Constitution and their due process, and even amidst the reports that the U.S. was spending more than $40 million of your taxpayer dollars on holding migrants in Guantanamo, in that case, I was just ignored. But I didn't expect much more. Republicans in Congress have repeatedly given up their power. I don't know why. Like, you got elected by the people to represent the people, but they're just rolling out the red carpet for Trump's authoritarian regime. Republicans in Congress have allowed Trump to literally walk all over them. They're enabling a massive expansion in presidential power and completely surrendering the power and authority of Congress. Well, if you don't want to actually assert your authority as a co-equal branch, then why are you here? Because in allowing the administration to rescind funds, freeze funds, cancel grants, and contracts that were duly appropriated by Congress, Republicans have given Trump the power of the purse. But the power of the purse is Congress's power. It's our job. It is what we were sent to administer for the people. They've abandoned a critical check and balance. Republicans have become the enablers of Trump's authoritarian power grab. And you don't have to look farther than the Speaker of the House. He was quoted yesterday saying, many respected constitutional experts argue that the War Powers Act is itself unconstitutional. And I'm persuaded by that argument that they think it's a violation of the Article 2 powers of the Commander-in-Chief. I think that's right. That is the leader of Congress saying that Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, which gives Congress the constitutional authority to declare war, is a violation of Article 2 powers of the President. That tells you all you need to know. Mike Johnson is more loyal to the President than he is to the separation of powers. He is more loyal to the administration's authoritarian agenda than he is to the Constitution. And he's certainly more loyal to this president than his constituents who depend on Medicaid and Social Security for their daily life needs. But we will remind them that Congress has a job to do and that we will not concede the power of the people. And so I ask my colleagues again, why did you come here? You made a lot of campaign promises. Perhaps while you were campaigning, you actually listened to some people. And perhaps what you heard from people was, we are tired of a government that doesn't deliver to the people. Make my life better, not worse. And yet somehow we are waiting for a Senate bill, this big, ugly bill, as if it could get any uglier, that would actually slash more resources resources from the very same people that sent us here instead of making their life better. Look, we have to ask ourselves in this moment, what role are we playing? And who are we here for? Did we take an oath to protect the Constitution of the United States of America or not? Is our loyalty to the values of this country and the people that send us here, I hope not super PACs, but people, constituents, or is it doing whatever Donald Trump tells you to do? This is a critical moment in U.S. history. And I want to highlight, as I wrap up my special order hour, a few people that despite of the darkness, despite of the stoking of fear that you see happening throughout the country, continue to demonstrate who we are and who we should be as a nation. I want to start by recognizing someone who I believe to be a leader in the community, someone who I know stands up in defending our neighbors, someone who recognizes that fear does not create unity and love, it creates division. And as we reflect on what it means to stand up to authoritarianism by defending our neighbors, our neighborhoods, and our culture, I want to recognize a longtime community leader and a public servant, Billy Ocasio. You see, Billy was born and raised in Humboldt Park in Illinois' 3rd Congressional District, and Billy's leadership over several decades has made a significant impact in Chicago, Illinois, and its local Puerto Rican and immigrant communities. A proud product of Chicago Public Schools, Billy graduated from Van Humboldt Elementary School and Roberto Clemente Community Academy. Rooted in the community that raised him, Billy served as 26th Ward Alderman for 16 years from 1993 to 2009, where he championed major infrastructure and community development projects, including the creation of Division Street's signature Puerto Rican flags, the McCormick Tribune YMCA, Humboldt Park's first ever public library branch. Billy's service expanded as he became senior advisor to the Governor Pat Quinn, appointed to work on social justice issues impacting communities across the state of Illinois. Both Billy and his wife, Veronica Ocasio, have lent their talents and time to creating and growing the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture, also based in Humboldt Park. In Billy's role as president and CEO, as well as in Veronica's role as director of education and programming, the Ocasios have nurtured the museum to become a locally, nationally, and internationally celebrated institution. Through exhibits, events, oral history sharing, and more, the National Museum of Puerto Rican Arts and Culture does important work to preserve and uplift the rich culture of the Puerto Rican tradition and to stand up to gentrification through cultural resistance. So on behalf of Illinois' 3rd Congressional District, I commend Billy Ocasio for his lifetime of service and commitment to fighting for our communities. At a time when wannabe kings threaten welcoming cities like Chicago, I'm inspired by the stories of local residents, demonstrating that diversity, that equity, that inclusion are exactly what make our communities and our country strong. Thank you, Billy. And in a time such as this, we need to summon the courage of those who came before us to unapologetically and defiantly defend immigrants from the administration's authoritarian attacks. History presents us with plenty of inspiration. In some cases, someone who made it possible for the grandparents of so many of my colleagues to be able to serve in this very same chamber. Today, I want to honor the legacy of Sister Frances Xavier Cabrini, better known lovingly to some as Mother Cabrini, the patron saint of immigrants, whose life and legacy remind us of the enduring strength and dignity immigrants in America have. Born in 1850 in Lombardy, Italy, Frances Cabrini arrived to the United States in 1889 to New York at the invitation of Pope Leo, who encouraged her to bring her